Texas adds more people every year than most entire countries. In just one decade, it built an economy bigger than Russia's. That's not just fast growth, that's a quiet shift in power. What was once known mostly for cattle, cowboys, and wide-open land is now turning into one of the most important places in America. Big companies are moving in. So are millions of people from all across the country. Experts say Texas is quickly becoming a dominant force in the United States, thanks to a powerful mix of strong economic growth, expanding industries, rapid population gains, and bold political moves. Today, we're diving into the heart of the Lone Star State to find out why Texas might just be the future of America. Economic power. Texas isn't just growing, it's leading. In 2024, the state's economy reached around $2.6 trillion in value. That's more than most countries. In fact, if Texas were an independent nation, it would be the 8th largest economy in the world. That puts it ahead of global names like Canada, South Korea, and even Russia. And this isn't a one-time event. The growth has been steady and strong. In 2024, Texas's economy expanded by about 3.9%, which is faster than the national average. And by 2025, experts say that strength will continue, giving Texas a more stable and reliable path forward than many other places. In the US, only California has a larger economy at about $4.1 trillion. But Texas clearly holds second place, far ahead of New York at $2.3 trillion and Florida at $1.7 trillion. It gives Texas the financial power to build major highways, expand energy systems, invest in technology, and provide public services that keep drawing people in. Strategic sectoral diversification. One reason Texas stays strong, even when the economy gets rough, is because it doesn't depend on just one industry. While it's still known for oil and gas, Texas has built a much broader foundation. In 2024, the state produced 5.86 million barrels of crude oil per day, making up 44% of the entire U.S. output. It also leads the nation in the number of refineries, with 32 facilities processing fuel across the state. That's a major engine for revenue. In 2024 alone, the oil and gas sector brought in a record $27.3 billion in state and local taxes and royalties. It's also become a leader in wind power and is quickly growing in solar energy too. That mix, traditional and renewable, gives Texas a more stable and flexible energy supply, which is important for both industries and homes. It now leads the U.S. in semiconductor exports, and it has drawn in major companies like Tesla, Apple, and Oracle to build big operations inside the state. The aerospace sector is growing fast, too. Texas ranks first in the country for aerospace manufacturing potential, and it's home to cutting-edge programs like the Texas Space Commission. Houston, in particular, is home to the world's largest medical complex, adding even more depth to the state's industrial base. What makes this important is how it works together. When one industry slows down, others help keep the economy moving. That balance makes Texas resilient and gives it a strong, steady path for future growth. Booming high-tech and advanced manufacturing. Texas is becoming a giant in high-tech and advanced manufacturing. Over the past few years, the state has made major moves to lead in semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and clean energy technologies. In the semiconductor industry, Texas now ranks first in the United States for exports. At least $40 billion in additional semiconductor projects are already being planned, helped by a mix of federal and state support. All of this is part of a larger push, powered by the CHIPS and Science Act, to bring more high-tech production back to the U.S. Texas's strong energy sector directly supports energy-heavy industries like AI, data centers, and semiconductor production. Texas also has a booming startup scene. In early 2025 alone, venture capitalists invested $2.9 billion into Texas-based companies, the highest in over 2 years. And in 2023, investment in AI startups jumped to $22.4 billion, nearly 9 times more than the year before. Startups are rising across many sectors, from electric vehicles to clean energy to AI-powered tools. This powerful blend of infrastructure, investment, and innovation is turning Texas into a national tech leader and a serious player on the world stage. Population, growth, and power. Texas isn't just getting bigger, it's gaining more influence with every new resident. In 2024, Texas welcomed over 563,000 new people, more than any other state in the country. That brings the total population to over 31 million. This matters because population means power. More people means more workers, more voters, and more seats in Congress. It also means more money flowing into the state economy. Since the 2020 census, Texas has gained over 2 million residents, while states like California and New York have seen people move away. In 2024, more than half of Texas's growth came from international migration, showing the state's growing pull on a global scale. Most newcomers are landing in the Texas Triangle, the area between Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, now home to 68% of the state's population. These cities aren't just growing. They're shaping Texas into a national economic and political hub. For example, Princeton, a small city near Dallas, was the fastest growing city in the U.S. in 2024, growing by 30.6% in just 1 year. But with growth comes pressure. Texas now faces major challenges in keeping up, from building roads and schools to making sure there's enough water and housing. Experts estimate the state needs to spend $10 to $15 billion a year just to maintain the pace. Still, this population boom gives Texas more economic output, political weight, and national attention than ever before. Texas is becoming younger and more diverse. Hispanic Texans are on track to become the majority by 2030 and already make up 45% of people under 25. This youthful population is a huge advantage. It means a larger, longer-lasting workforce and a vibrant consumer market. But to turn this potential into real power, Texas must also tackle gaps in education and employment. That's the key to building a strong, skilled workforce that can fuel the next chapter of growth. Major infrastructure investments. With millions of new people and fast-growing industries, Texas knows it needs to build smarter and faster. The state is now pouring money into major infrastructure, not just roads and buildings, but power plants, data centers, and next-generation factories. In 2025, a $1 billion project called the Gigapop Data Center in Red Oak will launch, built to handle the soaring demand for AI and cloud computing. Meanwhile, in Seadrift, Texas is leading the way with the first advanced nuclear reactor in North America, a clean energy project to power Dow's manufacturing. To support all of this, Texas created the Texas Energy Fund, with over $10 billion in funding to make sure the power grid stays strong. These investments aren't just fixing past problems. They're preparing Texas to stay competitive in energy-hungry sectors like AI, chips, and aerospace. Cleaner energy projects, carbon capture, and lower flaring rates also show the state is thinking long-term. Pro-business policies. Behind all the building and business growth in Texas is one powerful force: smart, pro-business policies. Texas keeps taxes low, some of the lowest in the country, which makes it much cheaper for companies to operate and grow. The state also keeps rules and paperwork simpler, so businesses can get things done without delays. Special funds like the Texas Energy Fund and the Texas Semiconductor Innovation Fund give targeted support to key industries. That semiconductor fund alone includes nearly $700 million to help chipmakers build and innovate right here in Texas. These smart incentives are helping the state stay ahead in industries that matter most, like technology, energy, and manufacturing. And it's working. By 2025, Texas became home to 54 Fortune 500 companies, one of the highest totals in the nation. It also beat out New York in business rankings and remains a top place to launch new companies, thanks to lower costs and easier rules. This steady, business-friendly climate is a big reason Texas keeps pulling in jobs, investment, and talent, and why its power keeps growing across the U.S. Job market strength. As of May 2025, the state had over 14.3 million people working, with 213,000 new jobs added in just 1 year. Construction, energy, finance, education, and healthcare are all growing steadily, helping fuel every part of the economy. There were still nearly 600,000 job openings in April 2025, showing strong demand for workers in many industries. To keep up, Texas is investing in custom job training programs, like the Skills Development Fund, which helps workers gain skills directly tied to local companies' needs. Programs like the North Texas Semiconductor Institute are preparing workers for high-tech roles in chipmaking, while others train people for jobs in energy and manufacturing. These targeted efforts help fill skill gaps while opening doors for more Texans, especially in future-focused industries. By aligning its workforce with its economic goals, Texas is building a strong foundation where jobs, people, and industries grow together. Higher education's role. In 2024, independent colleges and universities generated over $17 billion in economic impact, much of it from alumni who stay, work, and spend in Texas. Community colleges also play a big role, adding nearly $10 billion a year to the economy and supporting tens of thousands of jobs. These schools don't just offer degrees, they provide job training that's tied directly to local industries, helping people prepare for real-world careers. Programs like Texas Tech Online make it even easier, with flexible courses and career-based micro-credentials for working adults. So now you've seen why Texas is becoming one of the most powerful states in America. Its economy is booming, its cities are growing, its industries are leading the way in energy, tech, and manufacturing. But power comes with responsibility, and Texas still has big challenges to face. From fixing strained roads and power grids, to improving education and making sure every Texan has a fair shot at opportunity, how the state responds to these challenges will shape its future. At the same time, Texas holds some of the biggest opportunities in the country to lead in clean energy, advanced technology, and national policy. If it stays focused, Texas could not only stay strong, it could define what strength means for the rest of America. Thanks for watching and being with us today. If you have thoughts, questions, or even your own story from Texas, go ahead and leave a comment down below. We'll see you next time.